Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer Longmore, founder of souljourneys.ca and the #1 Akashic Record training school in the world. Welcome back. We are going to talk about the difference between knowing your purpose and living your purpose and how the Akashic Records can help you do that. So welcome back. Settle in. We're going to go deep today and give you some tangible things to work with in your Akashic Records to support you in living your purpose. You know, I lost count after 30,000 Akashic Record readings. I've taught, as I mentioned, over 100,000 students around the world. And this is a big conundrum for people. It's one thing to know what our purpose is. It's another thing to live it. And I would have people that would come back session after session asking the same thing, what is my purpose? And I eventually got curious and I thought, well, we've talked about this, like what is the issue? And that's when I started hearing the various stories. And at the core of all of that was fear, right? Will I be supported? Will I screw this up? What if I hurt people with my purpose? Intentionally or unintentionally, usually unintentionally. What if? So people are already resistant to knowing their purpose because then we can't unhear it. Like once we hear it, we can't unhear it. Then it's a matter of, am I going to act on it? So there's two parts to this. And then the second piece is, well, if I'm going to act on it, when and how much am I going to lean into it? And how much am I going to live a purpose-driven life? How much am I going to kind of play footsie with it and hokey pokey with it, 1 foot in and 1 foot out? And how much am I actually going to lean into it? So for those of you that want to lean into it, that's going to look very different, right? Because you recognize that you're having to make peace with yourself and give yourself permission to be in the potency of your fullest potential. You're having to make peace with God, source, creator, universe, whatever your term is, for all the times that you felt that it wasn't there for you, or it let you down, or it didn't answer your prayers, or whatever the case may be. And then all of the stories that you see where you perceive other people living their purpose and maybe things don't go as planned. Maybe you saw someone get put on a pedestal and then they fell down. So people rose them up and then tore them down. And you think, well, if it happened to them, it's going to happen to me too, because of course everyone else's journey will be my experience as well, right? And while we know that's not true, there's a lot of reasons why it's one thing, as I mentioned, to know our purpose, another thing to live our purpose. So we're going to chat about some questions that you can do to go or use to go deeper, and then how to actually go through this process. I would say that what is my soul's purpose is the most common question I get asked in the records, and probably anyone that reads the records will tell you that. There's, of course, a lot of other important questions, but that is the key one, and something that the Akashic Records answer really well, because it is all about your soul, and it's going to tell you what is your purpose, what did you come here to learn, what did you come here to master, and so on. But there's some questions that you may want to really answer to take it deeper. If you find that you're resisting to living your purpose and you don't quite know why, it could be because there's some unconscious stories at play that once you illuminate them, once you bring or shine a light on them, then you're able to better deal with it and transmute it, or whatever your plan is that you want to do to move it forward. So one of the questions that is common for people is, will God, creator, source, support me as I'm living my purpose? It's one thing to be disappointed by living purpose adjacent life, right? Like we're kind of doing some things. Like back when I worked as a forensic investigator, I was helping people. I learned a ton about human development. I learned how to be in my power. There's all kinds of things that job did for me. And I do think it informed this next iteration of my purpose. But I knew that it wasn't my life calling. I knew that it was kind of ticking some boxes of what I wanted to do, which, as I mentioned, was helping people and helping people move through trauma and various things like that. But it wasn't my calling. It's a lot easier to, quote unquote, fail at something that you know isn't yours. It's a lot easier to be disappointed when things don't work out. I mean, disappointment is never fun, of course. It can feel a little bit like a wet blanket, but we get over that stuff more quickly. It feels, and it can feel like a bigger risk to live our purpose, because then what if I fail at that? And of course, we never will. We wouldn't be guided to do that if we weren't going to be fully supported. But of course, we're cute as human beings. It's our job to be cute and ask cute questions and have cute perceptions. And so we forget right? That, oh yeah, we wouldn't be called to it if we weren't going to be fully resourced for it. So that being said, asking, will I be supported, right? And see what comes back. Will I be supported by my partner and or family and friends? This is a big one. I hear a lot of people put on their healer cloaks, for example, and a lot of people think they're crazy. Some people even get banished from the family. Some people get made fun of and mocked at family gatherings. Sometimes you can, especially if you're with a partner already and then you have an awakening, for example, or you finally lean into your purpose, they might want you to still fit into society. They might want you to contract to make them look good. They might be worried about how you're going to behave or what you're going to talk about at barbecues, for example. And so there's a lot of reasons why we will hold ourselves back that isn't necessarily obvious to us, or things that we try to pretend aren't there because then we don't have to deal with them, right? I know this firsthand, and I see this with all my clients. So this isn't a judgment at all. I'm sharing this because it's actually quite common. So if you're sitting there thinking, am I kind of weird for doing this? No, you're not. Will I be able to handle the responsibility? So this is another thing, especially if you've been raised by narcissists or addictive personalities where you were parentified and you became a parent at a young age. It was your job to tend to your parents' needs. You were playing a role. It was your role to keep the family together, or to take care of your siblings, or to take care of an addicted parent that was drunk or high or whatever. If you had a narcissistic parent that was always making it about them, then the thought of being responsible for even more people, because that's just a misdirected sense of purpose, if that's there, as much as you'll want to live your purpose, you're really more just nervous about the responsibility. You're already feeling tapped out. You already feel like you have enough people pulling on your energy. You also might be feeling like, when is it going to be my time to live, right? So that can be the kind of stuff that gets in the way of purpose. People are afraid of, will I get it right? Which then just takes us into that right and wrong continuum, which doesn't really exist in divinity. That's just a construct of a programmed society, an inverted programmed society. People are afraid of how much their life will change. They want the change, but they don't want the process of the change that goes along with it. They want to just wake up the next day and everything's changed and there's no ripple effect to that. Now, it doesn't mean we have to have a healing crisis. It doesn't mean that poop needs to hit the fan, but it does mean that some things are going to change, and we can focus more on who we're going to lose or what we're going to lose versus who and what we're going to gain. And that's my invitation to you, because when we focus on what we're going to lose, we don't like to lose things. So we're probably not going to lean into our purpose the same way we would otherwise, right? What if I fail? It's the same as getting it right. There is no such thing as failure, and you'll keep being guided. If anything, I would say living our purpose and not listening to our intuition is what creates some wobbles, right? Some nigglies. When we're honoring our intuitive heads and we've chosen to live a purpose-filled life and to be in alignment with our purpose, there's really no other option but to be expansive and to have things exponentialize and compound. The truth is that you're loved, you're supported, you're trusted. You have not called anything to you that you can't handle. You already have everything you need. You're already perfect, whole, and complete. Your purpose is intended to be joyful and expansive, not burdensome. And there is only one of you. So your purpose is needed. The codes, the blueprints within your purpose are needed for your own growth, but for the contribution to the collective. And that isn't said from a place of over responsibility or from guilting. It's just the truth. A lot of people will avoid their purpose because they think, oh, well, like, does the world really need another Reiki master? Yeah, they do. In your form, because you embody different harmonics than other Reiki masters. You hold certain codes within you that are going to activate certain people that you've already contracted to activate. So you can't get it wrong. So I'm going to invite you to here's some takeaways that I want you to consider. The first is to write out all of the reasons that you can't live your purpose, to really just see it on paper. It's not because we're going to energize that. It's because you need to see what's in your monkey mind so you know what you're dealing with. And then once you review that, you can flip it with at least 5 reasons why you can, why you're equipped, why you already have what it takes. I then would invite you to research people that you perceive as already living their purpose, and what is it that they're doing? How are they being in the world? How are they showing up? How are they emulating for you some things that you want to embody? And then ask yourself, well, how can I create that for myself? How can I create my own version of that? Because modeling is a big part of how we grow, right? I would say seek support. Either learning how to open your own records, having a reading with someone that can help you get clear on your purpose, working with someone that's a life coach, for example, that can help you. As you know, we have a ton of programs through the Akashic Records School for Akashic Records. I'm not even saying that right. The Soul Journey School for Akashic Record Training. So we have trainings there, but you may not resonate with our school, and that's okay. There are other schools out there, right, that you can learn from. And then when you're ready to go into your records, to really get clear on your next level of your purpose, you're going to set the intention of how you want to feel in your records and what you want to have answered, that you're really willing to have these answers come through. You're going to enter your records from a place of neutrality. So not feeling overly attached to outcomes, not feeling worried, angry, or any of those other energies, just feeling neutral. Create a sacred space that's uninterrupted. Maybe bring your journal so you can jot down some notes if you want to refer back to them. That's always fun. It's fun for me to go back to notes from like 6 months ago to see what came through, and also to see what came through that, oopsie, I haven't acted on, right? It serves as a great reminder. Then you're going to call forward your Akashic record keepers by saying that you would like them to help you open your records today, to help you access information for your highest light and your highest purpose. You're going to allow the information to come through without judging it, without trying to control it. So you may see information, you may hear it, you may sense it, you may know it from a deep knowing, like your claircognizance. Every person is right, or every person has their own way. So there's no right or wrong way. And I hear that even when I say this, people are like, but am I doing it right? You can't do it wrong. And if you've been working in your records for a while, it may feel pretty familiar. It might not feel really profound to be in there. So for some people, they have kind of an emotional homecoming. It's a nice heartwarming feeling, but it's a homecoming kind of feeling. For others, they kind of feel like, I don't know. Everyone's going to be different. So just focus on your own journey and don't worry about trying to inform yourself with what it was like for other people. And then I recommend that you connect in daily, because connecting in with the frequency of your records, just sitting in that energy is enough to activate you, to align you. There's things that are happening on a deeper level. You want to get used to what it feels like to be in your records. And you want to cultivate that muscle of trusting the information that you get, even if it doesn't make sense, or even if it sounds too basic or something that you've heard before. Learning to build that muscle and build that relationship of trust with your records is going to make this tool very useful to you. So I hope that helped. Today we talked about how to move from knowing your purpose to living your purpose. They're two very different things. If you'd like to go deeper into the records and access a guided meditation, if you get a little bit nervous or unsure when you're going into your records, I've created a guided meditation for you in a free gift that I've created. Also going deeper into what the records are and how to get more clear on your purpose. There's actually the 9 most powerful questions to asking your purpose in this free gift. So you can access that by going to souljourneys.ca/soul. And once you do, come back and let us know. What did you uncover? Was it helpful? Do you feel like you're more clear than you were before you downloaded it? That training's been downloaded by tens and tens of thousands of people. So I know that it's effective. I hope that it's helpful for you as well. I will let you go for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here on this planet. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.